Hi guys, Joe here, and welcome to 750 Gaming. In this one, I'll talk about my plans for the upcoming releases for 10th edition Warhammer 40k and why they may not include the starter box. So, I've not done a video for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden, two in quick succession. C'est la vie. Anyway, I've been thrashing this one out in my mind for a while now. Am I going to get the Leviathan Box set when it's launched? Or rather, am I going to try, assuming it sells out super quick like everything else Games Workshop release these days? I hope GW have learnt the lessons from the past editions, like for 9th when they did a made to order on all the Indomitors box sets after they sold out really quickly at pre-order 2, so I imagine we'll either be well provisioned up front or they'll do likewise with the Leviathan box. The big question is, do I actually want it? Well, part of me does, for sure. This will actually be my first release since I got back into this hobby. My only previous experience of a new edition release was when we went from 2nd edition to the glory of 3rd way back when I was a teenager and, if I'm honest, couldn't really care less. Oh, the heresy. So I'm not gonna lie, I am being suckered here by the hype. It is exciting. The wholesale changes to the gameplay to make it friendly to the casual gamer look so appealing to this dad of 2 crazy kids who has little to no time or money or headspace. And since I've been doing this social media journey thing in the hobby too over the last year or so, I've realised that FOMO is a real thing. Even just in events over the last couple of months. I nearly got to Salute, whereas unfortunately I had absolutely no chance of getting to Warhammer Fest, but yeah, after catching up on all the socials, I felt a bit gutted. But there'll be different events at different times, and maybe one day we'll get to one. So understanding that fear of missing out, am I going to be bummed if I see all my favourite YouTubers and Instagrammers with their brand new Leviathan boxes in a couple of months? Especially if I don't have one. Well, yeah, probably. But, and here's the big but in the room, I'm not sure I actually want one. It is an astonishing amount of content in one box for a bargainous price. The staff at my local Warhammer store quoted an unbelievable £150. Sure. So would I be silly not to get that bargain of the century? The capitalists in the world would scream buy, but even at 150 quid, I've still got to find 150 quid to spend in one go. The joy of this 750 gaming thing is being able to map out in advance what I want and buy it all a bit piecemeal. A 20-30 quid box here, and then once I've enjoyed assembling and painting at my own leisurely pace, I can go and get another 20 to 30 quid box there. I've already got 4 750 point armies, and I'm never going to be in a hurry or in a place where I need to go and spend all the dosh in one go to create a 2,000 point army in 1 week. And I don't think I'd ever want to be in that place, if I'm honest. But even assuming I had 150 quid to spend, what's in this box that I actually need or want? Big boy Terminators. That's about it. Space Marines are my jam. They just are. I'm a sucker. Not the Ultramarines though, I'm not that basic, but I do love a Primaris Space Marine. But looking at what's in this box, Space Marine wise, I'm not really interested in the flamethrower guys. I don't need a captain or a librarian in Terminator armour. I don't really like that Dreadnought. Just gonna say it. And whilst a few extra Phobos guys here and there could help with another project, the only thing that I really want are those Terminators. And if that's all I want, I can't buy the box just for them. I'm not a fan of Horde armies. Part of the reason I do Space Marines is because they fit my 750 criteria more often than not. That's to say, I can make a reasonably balanced, thematic 750 point army of between 15 to 30 Space Marines for less than £100. And that's my happy place. So in that regard, the Tyranids, or Tyranids I think we're calling them these days, don't really appeal. Well, okay, that's disingenuous. They do. They are really, really nice sculpts. Really nice miniatures to have, and I could quite enjoy painting them up. But I'm already halfway through a Necron project, which is starting to get numerous enough as it is, and if I was ever going to do a proper Horde army, then I know in my heart of hearts it's going to be some sort of mercenary, local militia, PDF themed Imperial Guard. Maybe one day. So it turns out I don't want any of the bugs from this box either. I'd take the rules book. Regardless of the historic instability and relevance of all the stats that are inside these books, they are generally really nice publications and worth having. But yeah, I'm not going to shell out just for a bit of literature and some Terminators. Now I could of course do what a ton of other people do in eBay land and buy the box and flog off what I don't want. And that would possibly make me a profit too. Now, I'm not as against this as maybe others are. My only real objection is if these boxes are limited edition and the people who actually want everything in it aren't able to get one. But actually, the fact that some people do buy boxes to break them up and sell parts individually at markup, granted, is a very, very handy resource for the kit basher in me who wants just a few bits here and a few bits there. But returning to the time and energy dilemma, in the same way I don't have the time and energy to paint up all the bugs or surplus marines in this box, neither do I have the time and energy to break them all up and sell on the bits separately. So there you go. I think we've answered it. No, we won't be buying Leviathan. Even though it seems like a really good deal, and I really don't want to miss out. Silly psychology, right? So what am I planning to do instead? My plans for this edition of Warhammer 40k are as follows. I need to complete my Novok Dynasty Necrons, and I may actually make these guys the priority, purely to give my shelves a bit of variety, you know. For these guys, we need to get some Lich Guard and either some Canoptech or Orphidian Wraiths. I'm not going to lie, that boarding patrol would have been a dream here. Alas, slow and steady, one bit at a time, we will finish this army. They'll join my Overlord, my Warden, my Warriors, and my massive converted homebrew flayed ones. And I'm really happy with how they turned out, by the way. So, yeah, this army will get finished, I promise. Once that's done, we'll focus on completing my female Space Wolves as well, otherwise known as the Fenris-Dottir, the Daughters of Fenris, and I'm absolutely in love with this project and how it's turning out so far. Everything is Primaris sized because, you know, I'm a sucker, as already established, so a lot of kit bashing and converting still to go. But we'll also have to wait and see what 10th edition indexes look like before we go purchasing. My build is currently based on an old and soon to be blown apart 9th edition rule set and codex, so I'll probably hold fire for a second, but assuming my choices are still legal and valid, I'll need a Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf, obviously, a few Kitbash Company veterans, and then some sort of infantry-based heavy support to play that long claw thematic role without being an old-school Devastator squad. I was thinking Hellblasters here, because I quite like Plasma, but we'll have to wait and see. I also want to return to my Black Templars. They were my first army back in this thing, and I'm a better painter now than I was 2 years ago, and I just want to grow them up a bit. I also wanted to paint some sort of Imperial Fist, so my plan is to rethink and redo this Black Templar army. I want to convert my Vanguard vets into Primaris scale Vanguard vets, most likely using Assault Intercessor torsos, go figure, and I want to go get a Crusade squad proper. I probably will still bash up an Emperor's Champion that, you know, looks better than the official one, and those melee guys will all be black. And then all the gunline stuff and my land speeders, I'll probably repaint yellow because I'm an absolute sadist. I think in 10th edition, a lot of the rules and strats are going to be far more generic. So a Space Marine soup army is going to make a lot more sense on the tabletop. But if we do need to be from just one faction and one faction only, well then they'll all be Black Templars, adorned in Maltese crosses. Just, some of them will be yellow. And so it's this soup idea which brings me on to the last project I have in mind. I originally started what I call my loyalty ambiguous Alpha Legion army, where I plan to proxy a load of stuff around to play as Chaos, but looking very, very Imperium, etc. But I've got caught up in all the lore for Arcs of Omen and the Return of the Lion and all of that, so instead I'm going to make another Space Marine army. Yeah, okay, I've got a problem, I know. But I'm going Dark Angels, and we're going to kit bash up a load of Redeemed Fallen. And then we're going to have a load of covert Cloak and Dagger Phobos Marines painted up as Alpha Legion. I've already got a Primaris-sized converted Cypher to proxy as some sort of gunslinging lieutenant, and then of course, when they come out normally and outside of that Leviathan box, we'll go get ourselves some big boy Terminators and paint them all up Deathwing. I do love the idea of the Lion sculpt, but I think he'll actually be 2 points heavy for this list. Much like Abaddon. Abaddon? Much like Abaddon is for a 750 point Chaos army. So I'm thinking I'll probably go get Azrael instead. But either way, this army is kind of the one that I'm most excited by, and also the one I'll be starting most from scratch, and also the one I will leave till last so that I actually get the other projects finished first. I would like some Custodes, and you can do like 750 points of Custodes with like 10 miniatures. So that might be my little side project in between big projects. They could be my painting skill improvement project where I go to town trying out new techniques but knowing I don't actually have too many to do. And then, there's the Guard. Well, maybe that lot will have to wait for 11th edition. Who knows? And of course, I have my Red Hunters, my White Scars, and my Emperor's Children that may need some love to make them 10th edition friendly. So, yeah, I've got enough on here. I don't need the Leviathan box set. Anyway, those are just my thoughts and plans. I'd be interested to hear yours and your reasons for and against getting the Leviathan box, or let me know what you've got planned. If you'd be interested in seeing how I actually put some of these armies together, then let me know in the comments section and I'll see if I can work out how to film some of the creative process in this and make that happen. Anyway, if you've got to the end of this video, I'm really grateful. Hit like and leave a comment to let me know you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Let's go! As always, I just do this for fun and make these videos when I can. I don't have a regular release schedule, they just happen when they happen. So, if you want to make sure you don't miss a beat over the next few months and going forward, then hit subscribe so you can catch these when they come. If you enjoyed this or any of my other videos, then do hit that like button as it really helps boost my ego, and do come check me out on Instagram for all my hobbying updates. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next one.